Okay, this is going to be part two of the second hit attempt. And at this point, I had just come out of the store. They were beginning to lock up the store where I was in front of. And I found myself in that position, actually a couple of nights actually. Major activity in that particular spot for a few nights anyway. But anyway, so this is, like I said, this is part two of the second hit attempt. And I just come out of the store, and I had a makeshift curtain that I had made. I wish I was kind of proud of, because you'd be amazed. I mean, what you don't have when you don't have your place of dwelling. One of the main reasons they wanted me out of there, because you're out, you don't have a place to safely exercise your rights in, and anyway, you find yourself exposed, and literally this is how they intentionally make you feel, because like I said, the people that look like they had rank, dressed in dress pants, nice dress shirt, they were all in like their maybe 40s to mid 40s, some of them maybe 50ish. And they were the ones barking the orders. Quietly, but giving the orders, I should say. And I hate that word. Orders. Anyway, and this is, they would, as they had hired a bunch of other people from another, actually a majorly large ethnic group, which I won't mention, but they always do that too, so they don't get their hands dirty, and they can always say, we didn't do nothing, in an actual deposition or court testimony. Anyway, so here's basically what went down. So they would meet in the parking lot about 7 to 10 minutes prior to, or after being there, all the time the store was open, I should say, trying to freak me out one way or the other. Like I said, pulling up next to me and all surrounding me in all parking spots and sitting there looking at me and all that stuff, whatever, but. So you notice everybody leaves. Well, they come back about 5, 7, 10 minutes maybe before they're actually given the go-ahead to go. And these ones that are giving orders, remember now, they're the ones driving the all-black Dodge Chargers. Of course, all the other people they had hired from the local gangs or gang or whatever, they just had their own personal whatevers, street rods or whatever. So 5, 7, 10 minutes before they would give the go-ahead to charge. And again, if you recall in the last part of this, in part one of this second night or second hit attempt, they were, as I had confirmed later, they were going to just spray the car. They were just going to spray the car. I don't think I have to tell you, automatic gunfire enthusiasts, what that means. But here's the thinking, and why I mentioned I had a makeshift curtain in there. I didn't really like anybody, I'm just private, okay? I mean, geez, they already invaded I don't care what they say about this their legalese, little shifting of whatever they do to commit their crimes. They pretty much trounced all over my humanitarian and legal, state and constitutional, and they can laugh if they want at that, and through the universal laws of creation and all that stuff, my humanitarian rights, literally, as far as privacy and, just the right to just live in general, they trounced all over them. So I had the makeshift curtain in my car that I had made, and I was kind of proud of that. Well, so nobody could look in. God only knows what they thought, those brilliant minds over there, what they thought it was for. That was literally all. Now, I would have to, with everything closed, I would have to do something, but I would have to do something first, but I could see out. They couldn't really see in. I know they can, but I'm just talking about with the naked human eye. Doing away with all the, thermal radar crap, forgive my language, all that crap they deal with. So anyway, so they all get in their little huddles 5, 7, 10 minutes before the go-ahead is given. They all get in their cars, they start up all their cars at the same time. It's very, I would never do this to anyone ever. It is just barbaric and just as far criminal as you can get. But there's a, oh my God, there's a much more clandestine way of doing that if you're actually going to conduct that activity. But anyway, so they all get in their cars and they start them up all together. Well, it's not very stealth, but anyway, here's what would happen. They would, just like that day, the previous day there, when they were all sworn, they would use the same honk signals with their horns, honking. And they would use that to communicate. Now, like I said earlier in part 1 of the second hit attempt, and I went through that actually that day at the other venue that was close by. They would, like, for example, they would communicate like that. Like one honk would mean like I'm in the car. This is for example, like 2 honks would mean, I had departed. 3 honks would mean, or more, especially if they're like blinking their bright lights on and off, or repeated honks would mean like I'm, rolling and what is appearing to them at the moment anyway as leaving the premises or the property where I was at. So if you can imagine. So I kind of, just to make sure, I tested that one a lot. And so that's what the deal was. So anyway, with this night, they're all lined up down directly in front of me now. My car's facing them. The vehicle I was driving, I was facing them. And all of these cars just lined up, one after the other, just facing me. This is after they started them up and moved them all into position. Or actually, they might have done that, actually, before they cut them off and got out and got in their little huddles. But anyway, nevertheless, so they started them up. All their cars are running now, and they're ready to charge. And they had their little honk signals like, for example, like one would be, ready, everybody get ready, and then you'd hear a, well, I don't want to give it all away, but I mean, let's just say they would use like maybe another series of honks for something else before that, maybe two. Well, we'll just keep it simple. So they'd use two, like to go, or three maybe to go, to charge. So let's just say it's three. So they'd go, so here we go. So they go honk, honk, honk. And it was like loud, long honks on that one. And it's like, well, then all of a sudden you see the cars rolling. Well, and at this point, this is the first time now they're doing this, so I have to make up my mind, what am I going to do here? You know, because for the most part, I'm pretty gone. So I did what later proved to be the exact right thing to do. Oh, and by the way, let me just mention to you, all of the inside curtains are closed. They're the makeshift curtains that I'd made. And why were they doing that exact form of attack? Because if you think about it, oh, and by the way, Mr. Police Officer that had gone up and down the street to clear things, you know, make sure that there was, you know, he was probably looking for other police in the area to make sure that, you know, but just to see what it looked like anyways. And when that, usually when after that happened 2 or 3 times, that's when the signal was given and they came charging. The local police, okay? The local Metro Police, okay? Participating in this. So after he got done with his little, you know, run up and down the street, he parks way up in the dark corner of the parking lot, you know, kind of because it was kind of on a hilly slope. So he parked up on top, of course, where he could get a good visual. And here it goes, honk, honk, honk. So they come charging. So me, I'm like, you know what? You're going to do it. You're going to have to do it to my face. So I just got out of the car and I went outside and I just stood right in front of the car and stared him straight down. Well, what that did is it caused them to stop. And they immediately decelerated, turned around, and went back. And, you know, I'm not going to say anything much past that as far as like, you know, what I had with me or if I didn't have anything, did have anything, whatever. But the point here is, besides, of course, number one, they shouldn't be doing anything close to that, bothering me, period. Not to mention not stealing mine and my family's home from us and all our things and our lives so far for the last 6 years running. But the point is that, remember the makeshift curtain? Well, if you go and spray the car and you kill everything inside, and of course you've got your local police unit there that's called mop up, all right, to make sure that the appropriate evidence doesn't appear on a police report, right? And that maybe other evidence does to, let's say, throw even the most challenging investigator off, conveniently parked up there in the corner. Well, if you spray a car like that, and there's lots of video cameras on you, I'm not visible if I'm in the car. So they could sit there and tag me with over 200 rounds, and nobody saw nothing. Because, you know, on the video anyway, nobody was hit, right? I'm going to finish this up in part 3.